Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. One of my viewers sent me a news clip surrounding Trump's inauguration committee and its fundraising activities are now the subject of a criminal investigation the investigation is originating in New York. Now, that committee raised $77 million, and there are allegations now that those that let's step back a little bit. Barack Obama, for example, his inauguration committee fundraising, was maybe only a third of that. So the sheer volume of money raised prompts the question, what were these donors buying when they donated to Trump's inauguration committee? Now, this has come by way of Michael Cohen and Cohen's records. Now, if you remember back to when Cohen was first indicted and charged, he had been, selling access to Donald Trump by big business interests. And this is what the allegations are surrounding Trump's inauguration committee. Were these massive donations a way of buying favour with Trump or access to Trump? Now, the inauguration committee did conduct its own internal audit, but has refused to release that audit. Well, now that there's a criminal investigation into those activities, I think that it's the tip of the iceberg, because my readings have shown that money coming into his inauguration committee in the past, there were doubts around what that was used for. I've also felt strongly in my readings that those first months in transition, indeed that first year, we could see more of this come out, that people, big business interests, perhaps overseas interests, were paying for access to Donald Trump. And I think Mueller has this. And I think this is that we're going to hear more of it. So today, I want to ask, where did those dollars go? And then I want to look if these first few months in transition, because in yesterday's reading it showed Pence, there was an issue around money there with Pence. And is this it? So let's start with, where did those inauguration funds go? Did they go to line someone's pockets? Did they go to line Donald Trump's pockets? Were they funneled in some way back to the Trump organisation? Was this part of this overall business approach to the presidency that Donald Trump brought as soon as he stepped into that role? Was it more about his personal finances and enriching himself than it was anything else? Of course, we know he's a businessman. We know what he's capable of. But let's go back to the inauguration committee. Where did those dollars go? Was this to buy favour with Donald Trump? Okay, new income sources straight away comes forward as our signifier card. Straight away. The Ace of Pentacles, new projects, new jobs, new income sources. So this is telling me that inauguration committee potentially was an income source, could have been an income source. Now, for whom? Because as we know, there is this unaccounted for money portion within that 77 million. Where did those funds go? Okay, now this is the Seven of Pentacles, which is really hard work in preparation for a harvest. Okay, is this what we're looking at? This whole business attitude to the presidency paying off in the longer term, and I use the word paying off. So we've got the relationships here. There is definitely this is coming through the cards that the money that was collected was, I guess, the foundation of relationships with those that were donating. The Wheel of Fortune in relation to the Ace of Pentacles, just mirroring that, I'm seeing that the tide is turned. I mean, this, where once I felt those first months in that presidency, it was like opening the door to the lolly shop for kids to rush in. It was like just rushing in, grabbing stuff off the shelves, that's the impression I got around that time. And I thought, when is this all going to come out? Now, again, taking care of his long-term security, you can see the amount of pentacles that we're drawing here, and the two major cards are the Lovers, relationships with the donors, and now the Wheel of Fortune turning. The Queen of Cups, again, this is resourcefulness. This is this kind of nurturing and support. And again, this is mirroring the Lovers card. They were supporting Trump's presidency. I would be surprised, given Donald Trump's, I guess, naivety around the law and around the role of president. I would be surprised if at that time he even thought there was anything wrong with that. So, again, the Star of Hope comes forward with the Wheel of Fortune. This is the hope that those matters will actually result in some sort of justice. The eyes of the world are upon Donald Trump and the Trump presidency, because if this is the way that business is conducted in the leader of the Western world, the leader of a democracy that is so in bed with big business, what lessons do we have to learn here? I think this is why this is Donald Trump. Okay, again, the King of Pentacles. I don't particularly like this card. The King of Pentacles is covered in this growth here, and it's sort of almost overtaking him, and it's almost like the money. I think there's actually quite a sinister aspect to this card, even though the traditional Rider-Waite meaning is not cynical. It's about material success and use of assets. I think this card brings forward a little bit of a sinister aspect when we're looking at material gain and material wealth, increasing that. So really, this inauguration committee criminal investigation, is the tip of the iceberg, I think, for Donald Trump. It really is. I think that we're going to see that at least the first year of his presidency, and this is the evidence that Cohen brings to the heart of the I guess the investigations into Donald Trump. I think we're going to see more of this, that big business and overseas interests were actually paying for access to Donald Trump. Now, is this what compromised Pence in those first transitional months? Is this money, paying for access? Indeed, could he have been involved in it? Certainly Kushner. Was he aware of this? Did he participate in it? So let's have a look at that, because if he did, then that would explain why we don't see him coming forward as president, as an interim president or a stand-in should Donald Trump step down or be impeached. Let's have a look. The transition, the inauguration, more so the transition, Pence was in charge of that. Did he know about big business and foreign interests buying access to Donald Trump and the Trump presidency? Did Pence know about this? Was he involved? Did he know and was he involved in paying for access, big business, foreign interests, paying for access to the president and the Trump government's agenda? Did he know, was he involved, big business, paying for access to Trump and the Trump government agenda? Oh my God. It was sort of like as plain as the nose on our faces. Again, we're drawing the same card, new income sources. Okay, he's imprisoned by the knowledge by the knowledge that he had of these new income sources. This is what's going to bring Pence down, I think. This is the Eight of Swords, and it's almost like isolation and self-imposed imprisonment. It's almost like he's going to fall on the sword. Okay, so I mean, the Ace of Cups are, a new starts. Okay, so this is telling me quite subtly or not so subtly that Pence, we asked, did he know about this? It's telling me that he actually did. There were new income sources in that transitional period. This card is seeming to suggest that he did know about it, because it's like self-imprisonment, isolation. Is this what's going to come forward and stop Pence from moving into any new role as potentially the president? The Ace of Cups, of course, all the aces are new things happening. This is like a new proposal happening, okay? So we'll deepen the reading a little bit. Hanged Man, suspension, self-sacrifice. This is going toward this. If you're participating in something that you know is wrong, why did he do that? Balance. Okay, so it's almost like, following on from my last reading, it's almost like outing this is bringing more will bring more balance to any future presidencies, and building the House of Trump, okay, in relation to the new partnerships, new proposals, building the Trump organisation well. I'm just going to take these out for a minute, and we'll pull two more cards. Okay, the Lovers again is suggesting that he knew about those relationships. The Knight of Pentacles coming forward with money news. It's looking increasingly like he did know, and having to defend himself. Okay, so it's this. The cards are certainly showing the money that is around here. What we're getting is that he may not have directly participated in it. That's what I'm sensing from these cards. But he may have known of it, although he didn't directly benefit himself. He may have known about it, and as a result, that's actually he's going to be. He's not going to be able to step forward, because he was in charge. Okay, he was in charge of that transition. So he failed in allowing this to happen, or not stopping it from happening. He failed in his role, and I guess he's going to be held accountable in some way for his role in this. His role as the head of the transition team, perhaps his role in knowing about it. He's going to protest his innocence, though. He's going to say, I was a victim, I didn't know. But these cards are suggesting that he did. So I'm not getting a clear reading that he was actively involved. I'm not getting that. But whatever his role is, it's really going to go against him in the future. So people have asked why was Pence chosen as Trump's running mate? He was chosen by Manafort. Okay, let's ask again if Pence is in any way involved in Russia, because I'm just getting again this feeling around Jared Kushner. I think that's where the link is, and I'm not sure why that is the case. I know Kushner met with the Russian bank early in those transitional months, and there were multiple meetings with Russian ambassadors. So did Pence know of the support, the collusion between the Trump government, Trump campaign, Trump government and Russia? There, we've asked a direct question. Did Pence know about the collusion between Trump organisation, Trump campaign and Trump government? Did he know? Did Pence know about the collusion? Okay, so King of Wands. This is the bold leader. Okay, this could be Trump. Crossroads. Okay, so there were multiple forces. Pence had decisions to make. Again, this luxury, this self-rule, money coming in to Donald Trump. The relationship between Russia and Trump. Trump organisation. Building of wealth and material assets. Trump himself. Yeah. Okay. So I think these cards are pretty self-explanatory. It looks like Pence knew. He was at a crossroads. I'll just go a little bit further. Messages. Okay, so he's aware of communications. All right. Now, was he CC'd? Was he a part of them? Okay. So the trickster coming forward, manipulating illusions around the Trump. So this is sort of suggesting that he was aware of the covert nature of some of these relationships, and it's really pointing to the money here, and just mirroring the luxury, the money coming through the door. Again, this is Ivanka. She comes up so often. I think this is Donald Trump. And this, of course, is the card trying to get away with things. This is theft and betrayal and coming through, trying to get away, stealing things. All right, so this card is the question that we asked was he aware of the collusion? He's aware of the money. There's something there that he's aware of the money coming in. And this is very much a crossroads. He had to make a decision. All right, one more quick reading. Gosh, look at all these cards that are coming forth. They're quite telling, aren't they? One more. Will he be prosecuted? Will Pence be charged with anything? I'm not sure what the legal ramifications are of knowing that. It's sort of like in Australia it will be aiding and abetting a criminal offence. I'm not sure what the equivalent is in America. Will Pence be charged? Will Pence be charged with a crime as a result of his involvement, shall we say, with Trump? Pence be charged. Well, the crossroads again, it's quite uncanny, these cards, quite uncanny. The Two of Swords is balancing those forces and compromising as well, making decisions. So hence the reason why he was at the crossroads. He was compromised. He had to make decisions. Again, weighing up multiple forces and again trying to make those decisions. Gosh, Trump coming forward. He had to compromise. Okay, so he had to compromise himself in some way. The Magician, Major Arcana coming forward. It could have been that he was told, it's fine, we've got it covered, everything will be handled. The opposing forces, Strength. That's an interesting card there. Interesting. I'll let that one... And Judgment. Judgment potentially for Trump, potentially for Pence, and his role there. 3 major arcanas coming forward there. 3 major arcanas: the Magician, the Trickster, the Strength that had to be shown, I guess, within the compromise, and Judgment coming forward for Trump. Interesting. Let's just have another look. Trying to get away with things. Loss as a result of the compromises that he made. The proposals, okay, that he had, yeah, okay. All right, it's cloudy. This reading is cloudy around Pence. It really is. It's almost like he was aware. Perhaps he may have been on the outer circles. He may not have acted. He may have compromised his ethics, or if he has any ethics, I don't think he has. He may have compromised his future security or his future freedom. Okay, so it looks like there's compromises here. He had to make a decision. As a result, there's going to be loss for him. And there were proposals. Trump put some proposals, perhaps Manafort put some proposals to him. Look at these cards. The Trickster card. I'm not sure about the Strength card here. And Judgment. Judgment coming forward. I'm unsure about that card and why that's there. Let me just think about this. Okay, I think what it is, he didn't show the strength of that was needed at the time. He's compromised himself. I mean, that's what's coming forward really clearly in this reading, and as a result, he's actually going to face loss, and that is around his ability to step up into the presidency. I'm going to do a part 2 of this, and we'll look at whether Nancy Pelosi, because that's really the final piece of the puzzle, isn't it? Whether Nancy Pelosi will ever be the interim president. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just getting a little bit of ambiguity around Pence. While he, he's not the main player here. It's more around what he did to. How he compromised himself in perhaps even running with Trump, but also was he aware of what was going on? I think it's pretty naive to think he wasn't. The cards are showing that he did know. He did know. That came forward very, very strongly. It is around the money. So I think we had a lot of readings this morning in this sort of part 1. I think the takeaways from that is that we know the inauguration committee has funneled money, potentially, allegedly, to access Trump. There's a criminal investigation on that at the moment. More to come. Pence coming forward. He headed up the transition team. I see him there, right? I see him knowing. I see him being aware of what was going on. He compromised himself, okay? And I think he knows he compromised himself. The question is this going to be outed? It appears that it will. it appears that he will be limited in his, I guess, ability, capacity to step up into a presidential role. At least that's what the cards are suggesting now. However, there's some cloudiness around it. Okay, so I'd like to read on this in another, possibly in the new year. I'd like to read on it, Pence again in the new year. But I'll leave part one there, and then we'll go and have a look at Nancy Pelosi. Thank you.